I wish they would off the kitchen and add a living space, because you couldn't put a sectional sofa in that area. It was so small.
Did you get it?
No,
Well, did you get it?
Did Crystal? Crystal, can you hear us?
You're on. I can hear.
You can?
Yes, I can hear.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Hi.
We're just about to get started, so we're just testing everything right now, okay, my dear? All right, so now you're running here, but you're muted.
Okay.
And you want to stay that way.
Okay.
Because your sound is gonna run here.
Okay.
But now to share, you need to share through. I have to go to Accents.
Well, but you can answer my computer. I just click on it. I
That
just
you
use my
want.
computer and it'll go there.
Yeah, yeah. So share screen. I have some nice.
159. Where's your golden? Where's your golden?
Or it just picks which one you want to share. It's
Yeah.
probably gonna be that one. On the 10th at 1 o'clock.
Oh, I just
you share it. Okay.
Okay.
But now they can see this, right?
Okay.
So they can actually see what you're, what I
Oh, let's see if I have anything bad.
Love the message.
Nothing bad.
Okay. You good? All right, well, you're ready to go.
Perfect.
All right.
Oh, you have two?
Yeah.
Okay. For those who don't know me, I'm Alison Edward. I'm gonna tell you guys, I don't feel good today. I don't know why. I'm dizzy, so I'm not myself. So what we are going to talk about today is homestead exemption. So does everyone know? And if you don't, there are no dumb questions. So homestead exemption is, it's basically a tax break that you get as a homeowner. You own your house.
No.
Okay, I thought you did. Okay, so if you own a home as your primary home, then you get a little bit of a tax break. So you want to make sure that your people that you sell homes to throughout the year, this is just an easy way to reach out and touch them in January. And you're offering them something of value. Because a lot of people don't know about it. People that have moved here from other states don't necessarily know about it. You're not, we just got started. You're so cute.
They do that every state.
They do not.
That's why I didn't know about it.
They do not, and that's why a lot of people, so when you have clients move here from other states, they're like, what is that? Wow, I didn't know about that. Thank you so much for telling me. So homestead exemption, the reason that I'm doing this is it's a great way, I'm shedding, to have 2 touches. Or it may end up in 3 touches with the people that you bought or sold to last year. Now, some of you are newer and you're sitting there and you're going, but I didn't sell to anybody last year. What am I gonna do now? Who am I gonna reach out to? Well, do you live in a neighborhood?
Yeah.
I would go into FMLS. It's as simple as this.
It doesn't necessarily have to be our client.
Doesn't have to be your client. It's a great way to be the agent of choice who brings value to people in your neighborhood. Do you want to be in front of people in your neighborhood? I know I do. I sell a lot of houses in my neighborhood. So if you go into Matrix and you go to search residential, what you can do is come down, don't do active, come down to closed. And what you want to do is you want to jump back to January 1st of 22. And then your end date is going to be December 31st of 22, right?
Wait, I'm.
Yep, we're gonna go
your
slow.
matrix and you went to the search of residential.
Residential. Mhm.
Close,
Yep,
and then you went to.
and only closed. And you want to go back to January 1st of 2022. And then your end date is going to be December 31st of 2022. So whatever neighborhood, so, you know, this also kind of covers farming. I farm my neighborhood, so, you know, I've lived there for 22 years. A lot of people know who I am. I would say probably half of the houses that closed in my neighborhood last year were mine, but there are others that were not mine. So I would venture to say that a lot of agents are not reaching out to their database and doing this. So for the people that bought in my neighborhood, I'm going to send it to them and make sure that they know, because some of them came from other states. I sat across the table from them. So then go to whatever subdivision. I'm going to do Dunmore for this. I have to spell it properly though. Dunmoor. Okay, so there were 10 homes sold in my neighborhood last year. Like I said, I think I sold about 5 of them.
Alison, what if you don't live in a subdivision? Do you just put an
Pick
address?
one nearby.
Within
Pick one nearby. Is there an area that you've been thinking about farming?
Mhm.
Okay, so are you currently farming a neighborhood? Whatever neighborhood you're farming,
Do that.
this is a piece of information that you can give them that is truly of value. So they already see what you're sending to them monthly, right? This is a handwritten, hand signed, it's a typed letter, hand signed from you. You know, I'm one of your neighbors, whatever you want to say. I mean, they don't have to know you don't exactly live in that neighborhood. So out of these, I could go through and send something, and I'm going to show you guys what it is that I send to all of these people. The ones that I didn't sell to, because I've already sent it to them, right? Because they're in my tracking. So if you don't have business, this is the route I would go. I may pick 2 or 3 neighborhoods that are nearby. Whatever it is that you're farming, whatever it is that you want to farm, wherever it is that you think you can get a foothold and build a business around it. You're sending someone that they don't know you, and you're an agent sending them something of value. They're really going to appreciate that. I know I would appreciate it if I received something in the mail that could save me $1,000 on my property taxes. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, I sell mostly in Fulton and Forsyth. Different counties offer different exemptions, but as a primary residence, every county offers the homestead exemption. So, but there are other exemptions in different counties. So this is what I wanted to touch on if you don't have business. So I sold 21.8 houses last year. How they get the 0.8, I don't know. So I actually had people to send it to, but I am going to go back and I'm going to send it to everyone in Dunmore that I didn't deal with. So that's your end for those who don't have enough business yet. Okay. So what we're doing, let me see if I can stay on track here. So as I said a little earlier, people who are moving here from other states are not necessarily familiar with it because all states don't offer the homestead exemption. Yeah, but it can, as primary owner, I mean, it can save you a few hundred up to, you know, $1,000 on property tax. And for people that moved out of Georgia, you know, you have clients that you sold their home here. It just allows you to keep in touch with them. And anyone that you did, and I'm kind of focusing on the houses, your clients that you've already sold to. If they moved out of Georgia, you're still sending them something of value, because what we're doing is we're sending the ALTA statement with a letter about which I'm going to share all of this with you guys. And what we're doing is with that ALTA statement, people can write off some of the costs involved in their purchase on their taxes. So when you send the ALTA statement to them, and you'll see in the letter that I send, that's something also that it's right there in front of them in January. Everybody's scurrying around trying to get all their tax stuff together, and you're giving this to them. They already have it in a file, but they don't have to go and reach for it at this point. Okay, so we touched on if you don't have any sales, you want to be the neighborhood expert. Get that. Other agents probably are not doing this. So what I send is okay, so I have different letters that I've saved. Okay, this one is someone that I sold her home. I met her after she had already started working with an agent in new construction. And they became good friends and we hang out with them now. So to her, I hope you had a fabulous holiday, Happy New Year, and you're still loving your new home. I wanted to send you a copy of your ALTA statement as you will need this in filing your 2022 taxes. Also, on your new purchase, which I didn't represent her on, but I want to point it out to her, you will need the ALTA statement from that agent, right? So that you're prepared to file for your homestead exemption prior to April 1st. This will save you a good bit of money on your property taxes, so don't forget to file. You can go to your county's website to see if they allow online or if you need to go in person. And then you go into a little bit of real estate. I know I've said it before, but it bears saying again. Thank you for selecting me to represent you in the sale of your home. And then, as you can see, in this business, the greatest compliment an agent can receive is a referral. If you have family, friends, or anyone you know who may be looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, I would greatly appreciate sharing my contact information with them. I promise to treat them with the same professionalism, care, and respect that I showed you. Okay, so that's the letter that I send. And as I said, I have different versions of that letter. So you adjust, and I'll share these with you guys and you make it your own. So this is someone that I represented her in the sale of one home and the purchase of another. So in her envelope, I've included the two ALTA statements. And it's the same thing again. You're offering your value up here. So what you're giving them so they can file their taxes, so she needs to remember to file her homestead exemption on the new house. And it gives her the paper right there in her hands for tax preparation. So, and I always do something personal. Like when we bought this house, the first time we walked in, she actually went to an open house without me. And then the first time I took her to see it, and she hated it. She didn't want to buy it. Now you should see it. It's beautiful. But there was something on the carpet and she goes, what is this? And you know me, I'm such a little smart butt. I'm like, looks like a crime scene. So we joke about, the original crime scene. So you're adding always add a little something. This is a standard letter that I have saved. But add a little something to make it personal so that they don't just think you're sending a blanket letter to everyone. People don't do that. Personalize it. And so that's for a double-sided sale. I have one, and like I said, the reason that I'm showing these is so that I can, I'll share them with you. So this one is the ALTA statement. They'll need it in filing. This was actually, he sold his mom's house with me. So he'll need it in filing his mom's 2022 income taxes. Okay. So that of course doesn't say anything about the homestead exemption because it doesn't need to. And then it goes into a little bit of real estate again. And then, okay, so we have the exemption for sale of property and new purchase, and then people who just bought with you, they just bought a house. And like on this one, I'm not sure, here in Georgia, the homestead exemption must be filed prior to April 1st, 2023. I'm not sure about Oklahoma. But you need to check into it, basically, right? So just different things geared, to different needs. So whatever the transaction was, you have a letter that if you double-sided it or just sold it or bought or whatever it may be. So there's the letters. Now, everyone knows I showed you how to do the subdivision thing for the year. So if you don't have your own transactions, then you're going to do that. The letters with the final ALTA statement. So let's look at that. So all these.
Alison, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Where do you get the ALTA statement?
I was waiting
to see if you're gonna show
that.
So you send those too?
Enclosed is your ALTA statement. So from your closings, now if you're doing it like in a neighborhood that you're farming, you're not going to have the ALTA statement.
Right.
But you're just going to send them, hey, I just wanted to give you a heads up. I know you bought in the neighborhood this year. Don't forget to file your homestead exemption. And you can use the same verbiage that I used. Some counties allow you to do it online. Some you have to go in person, hop on online for whatever county you're in. So to get the statements that for homes that you have sold, you go into your command. All right, go into command, go over to opportunities. Up at the top, you see all opportunities. Okay, all opportunities. Now, if you look here, it's dated all the way back to the first of the year. Right? So when you click on, let's just do the last one. This is the one that was the crime scene. When you click, actually, this is the new one, but anyway, we sold this house. Click on the opportunity. Go to documents. Go back over to closed here. Okay. And you see you have market center closing documents. Right there, right here.
Now I see that.
There it is.
Underneath of it, yeah.
That's awesome. It's right there. Why is it not?
It's underneath. It's under it.
No, this, it's both, but why is it not letting me?
I think you have to go to the right.
Yeah,
It says
there's something
amend-
you have like on over there.
Right there, disclosure, you have to the right.
Usually you can
Yeah, the
also,
photos
well,
are
usually you can
not
just
right.
click right on it, honestly. That's what
You
I.
have to go to the dots over there.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I see it. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. Okay, so hit closing docs. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is break their heart. Don't send them your DA that isn't here. So when you're saving this or you're printing this, you are going to print, because you're sending it to them, right? You're sending it snail mail. How many pages are there? So here's your ALC statement. So here's all the stuff that you want to send to them. So your pages, custom, 2 through 5.
So the first one is your.
The first one, you don't want to send them because it's just going to remind them how much money they paid you to sell.
In my case, I've got two. I've got two for my alpha statement.
Okay, well, yeah, so what, yeah, that's the detail. You have the KW
Okay.
detail and the DA.
If someone bought land that is zoned for residential, but they haven't yet built on it, they can't do a homestead exemption on just the raw land, can they?
They cannot because it's not their primary home. They're not living in it.
Okay.
So even if they bought it and they're renting it now, they can't do that either. It has to.
It has to be
their-
your primary
They have to
residence.
physically live
They
there.
have to physically live there. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So rental properties, you can't do it, but like, you know, we have the 2 houses that our sons live in. So they each get to do it because their name's on title.
Right.
So they get to claim it, even though the rental properties for us. Still getting
Well,
homestead.
and the tax rate on raw land is less than what a homestead
Yes.
exemption would be anyway.
And that's what I was about to say. You have no idea what, you know, taxes or anything would even be on it at this point. So, yeah, thanks, Mike. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. So you're gonna print that out. And you're going to print out your little letter. You're gonna hand address it. I print the letter, but I hand sign it. Put it in a little envelope and send it.
All these paperwork and the letter.
Yep, the letter, and it's gonna be like 3 or 4 pieces of paper
So if
generally.
you had a seller that didn't buy it, and would just send this
The ALTA statement
and.
for tax purposes.
For tax purposes.
Yep. And until they buy again, until they have a primary home again, the homestead exemption doesn't.
Right.
So, you know, we're calling it a homestead exemption touch because that truly is what we're trying to do. But we want to get in front of as many people as we can. So yes, you want to reach out and send that just as a reminder that here, I'm helping you out. Here's the document for your taxes so that you don't have to go searching for it.
Yeah, so if you
And you
sold
said
it,
you can follow a text with this as well, like after you send it out, text and say, hey.
Hey,
let you know,
Rachel,
call.
you bought a house with me this year. I just sent everything to you. How are you doing? You know, it truly is a touch.
it's so
And
smart.
you get the conversations. You know, did I get any new business off of this yet? No. But have I touched them? Have people reached out and said, oh my gosh, thank you so much, you're always thinking of me, you know? Yeah, they do. And if it's somebody that like Hope is a friend of mine, but she moved to Oklahoma. I sent Hope a text. I didn't call Hope. She just built a new home in Oklahoma. She has a grandbaby coming in Oklahoma. Hope is not coming back to Georgia. But she has, and her son has a house in Oklahoma. She still has a daughter here that my son went to school with. So could I have blown it off and not sent her anything? I could have. But it makes sense, you know? It just makes sense to stay in touch with people as much as you possibly can. What were you asking, Stroll?
No, so that, you said it to both, but you, like, you can't. Like, you said it, I have a seller as well,
Mhm.
that, but they didn't buy, they moved into. an apartment.
Yep.
Whatever. So I
Yep.
still send it as
Of
a
course.
reminder for their taxes.
Yep, send it and just, you
They'll
know,
need it.
the letter. And that's why I label when I save my files, my letters, it's like buyer and seller, buyer only, you know, whatever. And that way you just pull up the letter, you change the name and boom, change the name of the date and you're good to go.
Okay, that's good to know. So, yeah, I'm just thinking, even though I didn't sell that neighborhood, but I wanna find one, or
Yes,
when I'm farming it, just, I would customize the letter, obviously.
exactly.
So I'd say, you know, you don't wanna sound like, well, I don't know if your agent who you bought it from mentioned it to you, but I wanna
No.
kind of. Hey, I just wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very familiar with your neighborhood, live around the corner. I
wanted-
just try to offer something of value. Don't forget to file your homestead
It's
exemption.
really great, I mean, that's awesome.
It's a touch.
Yeah,
for
because if it wasn't your transaction anyway, you can't send them a statement, but it's just.
You can't, that's what I said. You can't send the ALC statement, but you put a bug in there either, you know.
But I can just do that and put your card in there, yeah.
Well, you have your information at the bottom, but I mean,
That's great.
I have, like, when I do letters, I have my tagline and everything in my, so it's like, yeah, letterhead. So what, April, what were you saying?
So I'm over in historic Norcross and I'm in 7, which is tiny.
Mhm.
And as you know, we've got a couple of real high powered agents.
Yes, we do.
And there were next to no sales there.
Yeah.
Last year. And at least 2 of them were off market. One of them was Kathy Cowley's.
Yeah.
You know, so I said, come list this. And
Yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna just buy it.
Yes, exactly.
So what I would like to do is reach out to all of historic Norcross.
Yep.
That's about 1,500 homes. But of those 1,500, there would be a more reasonable chunk for me to go close, close, close. How do I find that big an area? Because most of our stuff is not actually.
Okay, so what I would do in that case is go into FMLS
Okay,
And can't you draw?
and do within a 2-mile radius of your home address.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
I do.
Okay, so I don't know why it signed me out.
I feel like that's.
Go back
sometimes
to
we
the
can
past,
ask.
go back to the criteria.
Yeah, so go to neighbors.
You can get with your.
Yeah, we can.
Really good too.
This is, I mean, to me, this is so easy though. You can do a residential search.
Mhm.
And within 2 miles of, I'll do my address. And then go down, take active off. And go down to closed, and again, put your dates in, January 1, 2022. Through December 31st, 2022.
If you just go, so when you are in, so once you hit your results
Mhm.
and you're in there and you're looking all
Uh-huh.
that, if you just go back up to criteria
Uh-huh.
and just click in the 2 miles from and take out the subdivision name, you've already got those dates and you'll populate. Now I have 149 letters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You could
That's a lot
do
more
within a
than-
mile, you can do in 2 miles, depending on what you
Yeah,
want, you know?
yeah.
This is genius.
Well, you know, Kelly Williams, R&D, rip off and duplicate. What?
You told me the headaches.
I'm looking for a dollar or something, cause I'm still.
I think that's why I carried it. Have you got?
I used to do, but I didn't find it.
I don't.
I did.
Oh my, okay.
You want.
I didn't know.
No, that's fine.
Usually I'll have
I know.
That's sad, the only.
So that answers April that, so now you've got it instead of, 1,500. And you know what I would do? I would, and you did good. So you know what I would do? I would go in and I would print those results. I'd farm the hell out of those 149, sorry, bad word, $25. I'd farm the hell out of those 149 closings. I would. Now,
Constantly and on an ongoing basis.
now, if you look at those and you know that it's somebody that, they do all the business, you know what, I don't care, I wouldn't take anybody out, I really wouldn't.
Okay.
I mean, I remember, and I'll share this with you guys, I've shared it before, but when I first got into real estate, it was one of my neighbors, Lisa, still a good friend, she actually moved out to Oregon. She had our neighborhood, she had it by the tail, and I wouldn't dare even promote myself in my neighborhood.
And when did all
And-
that change?
Yeah. So she got real, and this is a learning moment for you guys, and she got real political on Facebook. I don't get political,
I don't even.
period.
Right.
And people started calling me. They're like, you know what? I wouldn't listen to her. I wouldn't anymore. Because when you get political, you just killed half of your potential business.
Yeah.
Because if you're a Democrat, the Republicans don't want to hear it. If you're a Republican, the Democrats don't want to hear it.
Right.
Don't do it. Don't do it out there in Zoom land. So just remember that's one thing. And that's what, all of a sudden, it was like I started farming my neighborhood and I sell the majority of homes in there. I mean, if somebody sees a sign go up, they call me and they're like, that's not your sign. I'm like, that is a tacky sign. It's a little step in the ground sign. I would never put a sign out like that, but well, why is it that yours? I'm like, because that agent, the name on that sign owns that house. So that was the most recent. Tacky. So anyway, all right. So next, answer that question. Okay. The letter I gave you, I showed you how to get to the documents attached to the letter, and then you call them to let them know it's coming. Talk to them, have a good conversation, forward them. Family, forward family, what is it?
Family occupation.
Occupation, recreation and dreams. Yes. So go through all that. And then always end with, call me if you need me. I'm here. If you have any questions, if there's anything I can do. So now that we have this system in place, right? So it only takes doing this the first time. And I just implemented this year because I saw someone else do it. And here I am teaching a class on it. So now that I have the system in place, every month, every closing, print the ALC statement, put it in an envelope with a stamp, return address label, and a letter, put it in a file,
It's ready to go.
Send out in January.
send it out in January.
That's
Wow,
smart.
That's.
You ain't got
that
to
is
worry about it.
smart.
You already got it ready to go.
So you set this up, you figure this out, you write your notes, you do it one time. And on January, nobody wants to do anything on January 1st. I did it, I think, on like the 4th. Sit down and mail out all your stuff and call all those people.
Is it always April 1st is the cutoff date?
Yeah. Most times it is. So now, the other thing that you need to do, how do you know who you're sending this to? How do you track your business? Where do you keep a spreadsheet? Do you look at it in command? What do you do?
Right.
Command? Okay. And what do you do?
Well, like when I had my closings, I had next to no business last year, but my first year, I had 8 closings in 10 months, which is just ridiculous. So I kept information on that on a spreadsheet, but the different marketing programs I've done, I keep those on a spreadsheet, what I'm doing, where it goes, what it costs,
Smart.
and then what the feedback is. And I did one last summer that I still get calls on. I got a call on last Thursday.
Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pricey one. I bought these packets from American something Gardens, American, whatever it is. It's a big packet of garden seeds and it has a place where you can put an address on it, like custom made labels with my headshot and my return address.
Yeah.
And I ran labels for 2,800 homes.
Wow.
I spent a little bank.
Yeah.
I got wildflower stamps. And on the front, it had a cute little sale sign. That, and then the little logo, the little slogan on it was, let me help you grow into your next home.
Oh, I love
I it calls, I spent bank, but I have had so many phone calls. I had a former real estate agent who was retired from my neighborhood 3 neighborhoods ago, call me and say, I just got your wildflowers. These are so perfect. I love to garden. Thank you so much.
Gosh, I love that.
So sometimes
Good idea.
it's smart to go low budget
Yep.
and just keep your name out there,
Yep.
but every, once or twice a year,
Yep,
do
do something.
something.
Yep.
Do something. I had almost all of 7 attend a brewery event that I did
Yep.
last fall.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was not that expensive. They
That's
got
just
2
it.
drink tickets that
Yep.
were attached to my new logo,
Yep.
new branded
Yep.
business card.
Yep.
I wasn't talking real estate, but then they're all like, thank you so much. This is so great. I had catered platters.
Yeah.
The brewery just took my card, and when someone gave them one of the drink tickets, they needed to charge it to my credit card. And they were like, thank you so much. This is so cool. This is so sweet of you to do. We'll have to have you over. I said, that's great.
Yeah.
We see each other in the neighborhood all the time. It's just, I want to stay front,
Yeah.
of,
Yeah. Top of
we're
mind.
in everybody's time,
absolutely.
because I understand I've got a lot of
Yep.
competition in
There's
the
always.
neighborhood.
Yep.
But if nothing else, y'all are friends. I'm happy to buy you a beverage.
The more you put
So-
yourself out there, the better off you are.
Yep.
I know Zoom is muted, I think. Can you guys, no, because Mike was able to speak. That's right. Anybody out there have any questions so far?
Hey, Allison, it's Sandy. Do you have copies of your letters that you have?
Do.
That would be awesome, because I don't know if you tried to bring it up on the screen, but we couldn't see it on Zoom, but I would love.
Really?
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
Oh,
one
man.
and not the other.
R&D your
Yes,
letter.
I did, and I'm happy to share them. So what I would say, you guys take down my email address and shoot me a note.
I'll
And
shoot you
I
one right
will
now.
share it with you. So my email address is ALIEDWARDS. So it's Allie Edwards, but don't call me Allie. I go by Allison at kw.com.
Thanks,
I'm not-
Allison. I'll do that.
Okay, and I'm happy to share.
ALIEDWARDS.
That's me.
KW.com.
Yep. Okay, that was the other thing. Yeah, so, and the work for you in January is done.
Genius.
And Keller Williams is all about rip off and duplicate. I mean, someone put this in a group that I'm a part of. And I was like, that's brilliant. I am doing that. And I immediately implemented it. And now every January, it's just another great way for me to touch people. And it took me 30 minutes to teach this whole class. So think how long it's going to take you to do it. I mean, literally an afternoon. And, some people will say, oh, you should be doing other things to create business. Well, if you're newer and you don't want to pay someone to do that, I understand leverage. I use leverage, but something like this, I mean, implement it, do it, make it personal. Like I did. The crime scene house. Most every letter I sent had something personal in it.
It doesn't sound like you just, whoever, you remember that and you say like, oh my God, that's so cool. And
Yeah.
It's, personally, it should be personal.
Yeah.
I don't think it should all
I don't
be.
think they're getting $1,000
Yeah.
after the commission that makes you.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm gonna share, the company that made my custom labels that had my headshot on it, and they were perfect. It is called Print Runner, and they will get on the phone with you and help you design anything. They don't smudge when they get wet, so if there was some rain or thing,
Okay.
man. 1,700 custom labels that were 3.5 by 3.75 inches. It's $156.
Spend money. You have to spend money.
It's not.
What is that?
$1,700 for $100.
And it's a custom label company, and
Print
they,
Runner.
yeah, and you can do headshot, logo, they're
And this always does all that kind of, they do all that stuff too, and they're inexpensive.
What are they, the printers at North Atlanta?
Oh, yeah, never, Diane, and never.
They do.
Oh, yeah, James will do anything.
I like
You know, he can
Primo
do that.
too. I've used a lot of their stuff. Primo print, they're really good too.
James has done a lot of stuff for me. So any questions? I hate that it's so short, but it's so simple. It's 2 to 3 touches on one subject. And you're bringing them something of value. You're not reaching out saying, hey,
I mean, I'm thinking just for myself, because like I said, this is for, I'm not from here, so obviously
Right.
I didn't, if I got that in the letter, in the mail, I'd be like, yeah, what the hell is this? I can save money, what?
Yeah.
I would probably be calling.
And I
like,
have
"Hey,
people-
listen, I got you, thank you so much.
I have people from California.
It's great, I mean.
You know, I placed quite a few people this year from out of state and like I said, you just want to stay in touch with people. Like, so I had one that they moved to Missouri, the ones I told you that they were coming back in 4 years. So of course I want to stay in touch with them.
Yeah.
That was my first listing over $1 million too. And she's already given my name to the next door neighbor in the neighborhood where I sold that home. So they may not live here anymore, but you still, where are people's roofs?
Right.
People
Even
knew people.
referrals in different states.
They could have adult children here that, I just got a call today from one of my neighbors. Her daughter and a roommate want to find a rental. And I'm like, she goes, I just don't want to bother you with it. And I'm like, she sent me something. She's like, what do you think of this? I said, why do you not have me helping Tyler? And she's like, well, I don't want to waste your time. I'm like, it's not wasting my time. I always help friends' children find rentals. Always. Because one day they're going to buy. And then I'm talking to my buddy and I'm like, Lynn, have you ever thought about buying something for your daughter and her roommate? Like we did with our boys? She's like, well, yeah, I've kind of thought about it. So what do you think we're gonna do? Conversation. So it truly is about just keeping in touch with people, keeping yourself, relevant, and offering value.
Do you send out to refinance people that might have refinanced as well? If they had a change in the deed? Because I think that they also can do it. If there's been any change in the deed with their names, they also can file.
Well, chances are they would already have, I would ask.
Like if they
Ash.
refinanced in the last year.
Well, unless they changed something because the property's still with that person.
Yeah, but I think if they changed the name, right? Isn't it? If they changed.
I have no idea, you'd have to ask.
Yeah, that's not a me
Yeah, if they
question.
change in
That's a
name.
legal question.
I believe I remember.
But how are you going to know if somebody
You
refinanced?
can look on,
Yeah.
for mine and see. because
Yeah,
you'll see
that- See, and one thing I try not to do is go down rabbit holes. So if you have this big broad yard out here that's called FMLS and you can search within 2 miles of your neighborhood or 1 mile in your neighborhood, if you're trying to broaden who you're sending it to, make it simple. Don't go down a rabbit hole. Why are you gonna spend time trying to figure out if somebody, through their mind, if somebody's refinanced or if there's been a change to the deed? Just look at the people that have closed. Keep it simple. And that way you don't get buried in the details, I am all about simple.
Yeah.
Cause if I start going down a rabbit hole, you're not gonna see me for days. So, yeah, I would,
Counted in one something. I just
Yeah,
don't know.
Ashley did it. I believe it was on one of the.
It was.
Yeah, it may have been. Yeah, and that, it's a great question. I don't know the
I just
answer.
didn't know.
It's not a question that I can answer.
Maybe it's something from a way to word it, even within the letter, but if you're doing an area that you're just farming and not necessarily that you sold to. I don't know.
I don't have to go to my mom, just, hey, Dutch, just wanted to know if here's some useful information you want to know, be aware of. Bam,
Yeah, like.
I didn't know.
If
I
you
mean, I
have,
didn't- honestly,
Because most agents, we're taught, we're in a class, we
Right.
want to learn, we are learning based.
But not all
Realtors.
companies do.
Not all
that.
companies are. And you know what? There are more people orphaned after a transaction. What is the stats? 88% of people say that they will use the same agent again. And I think it's 15% actually do. Why is that? Because you don't keep in touch with them.
They think I sold it, I'm good.
That's right. I got a commission check out now.
It's
I
crazy.
need to send it to the buyer of the listing I have. Because her agent
May not.
has said me.
Exactly. Yes. And that's like what I said in Dunmore, and you could do that to every buyer that you didn't represent everybody you sat across the table from.
Uh-huh.
But like in Dunmore, of course, I'm sending it to people that I was involved in the transaction.
Yeah. What do you say in that letter? Do you have a different, I mean, it's a different. version.
I have not done it yet. That is actually on my list to do. But I would say something like, hi, Allison, your neighborhood realtor here. Just wanted to send a friendly reminder to file your homestead exemption. Georgia, you could even say, Georgia offers a homestead exemption, because somebody coming from another state, they might be like, what the hell is a homestead exemption? So Georgia offers a homestead exemption, which saves you, and on everything that I had, it says it'll save you quite a bit of money on your property tax. So you're just kind of leading those people to that.
That's a key word too. You mentioned a couple of keywords, save you money and.
Save
That
you
gets
money.
their-
Saves
their
you
attention.
money, it does, yeah. And I'll tell you what, this has really been on my mind lately is, we're targeting certain people, right? We're targeting certain areas, we're targeting around, or we're not targeting. Targeting is a very bad word. So at our ALC retreat, one of the things that Gene Rivers said is, do you like to feel like you're being targeted? Nobody wants to be targeted. You're trying to attract. You're being magnetic and you're attracting people to you for a reason. And the reason is you're offering them something of value. So you're attracting those orphaned buyers or those orphaned sellers to you. You're magnetic. You're attracting them to you. You're not targeting them to try to get their business. Chances are they're not selling anytime soon, but they might know someone who is. So anyone in Zoom land have questions, comments, corrections?
Nobody would do it.
This is awesome, Allison. Thank you.
Yep, and like I said, shoot me an email, with your email and I'll send the letters and I will share, so like in command, you can go back and look and see, but I keep all of my stuff on a spreadsheet. Back here.
That's the number one enemy of mine. Excel.
Excel.
Word.
I don't have one either. We just have an Excel class.
No, I hate it. I'm
Well,
serious.
sure, we could find what the heck. Dropbox has been
Never had this.
Deleted.
God, I hope
I'm
not.
just kidding. No, I hope not either. Oh,
So anyway, oh, girl, it's there. I have,
All it said was that you had moved it from its original location. So it doesn't mean it's deleted, it just means you put that particular spreadsheet landed in another.
where did it go? Oh, Lord. Anyway, so I keep a spreadsheet and I keep everything, the addresses of like, say it was a seller that moved out of state. So I have their address that I sold, and then underneath it, I put mailing address. And so that's how I kind of keep up with where people are going.
Okay.
And that way I have everything in front of me. So I know where I'm sending it to. If I sold one house for them and we bought another one here in Georgia, highlight it so that you know that that's where they are now. So
If you go 2 down to open and put just one word that's in that file in there. Not the whole file name.
where's the
but,
search bar?
Browse. Now, put in something from that file name and it'll show you where it is now. Hit return.
People are lucky that we have.
Something happened to my computer this morning.
Okay.
And I don't know what, but I will
Yeah,
have to
back up.
have my husband.
You have your stuff backed up?
That's my IT guys.
that's, I was gonna say, thank God, I don't know.
Yeah, because that should do it.
Yeah,
That should do it.
Do you understand? So he's at all.
What about, which year were you gonna move into 2021 or 2022? How about that?
So do you think it would be like this?
okay, so here is, well, this is 2022 right here. So you can see, mailing address, that type of thing. But that's how I keep up with And if anybody wants this spreadsheet, my husband created it, I'm not that smart.
I was gonna say that looks pretty good.
He did it.
I've got one that. we
So it
said.
takes care of
It's just
everything.
not-
It tells me when I have
Out of the bait.
listing buyers.
Okay. Oh, I should figure that one out.
Yeah, so, but anyway,
Okay.
so that is how I keep up with everything. And there's, if anyone is interested in the spreadsheet, it tells me when I cap and the whole 9 yards, so.
That's excellent.
So 45 minutes, we're done unless anybody has questions.
I appreciate it.
And I feel better too. I
Thank
don't feel
you.
quite as dizzy as I did.
That's how you feeling?
I feel better, but I have been sitting down the whole time, so we'll see when I stand up.
Why are you dizzy?
I don't know.
Are we not-
Hi, Zoomland, thanks. Peace out. How do you?
Have to.
We're all really taking it in this room, can you tell?
I'm not used to running the Zoom, I can participate.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you an email here shortly, Alison, with them, just send them letters and that's it.
Bye-bye.
When in doubt, shut the laptop. I was gonna say the camera's probably still.
It is. Oh, shit.
You want Jessica?
Well, I was gonna tell you, Rachel, so it would probably be easier like.
Huh.
But is there a way to remind?
You know, George was pretty lucky, so I was asking about the out of state because I wanted to see if my son could do it.
There you go, then do it in that.
But,